Breaking news, a recap. Tonight,
Donald Trump reminds everyone of failure.
racism exists in Australia,
We're trying out a new weatherman.
and a nerd talks to Congress.
In 1956, two dogged reporters were on assignment in the Bermuda Triangle when the most stereotypical thing that could happen did. Lost in time, forgotten by the world, Wesley Newfarmer and Jessica Pratt emerged in 2012 to a new era where the news is more fast-paced and people less credible. Today, they continue their mission as intrepid journalists, always on the search to find the most important news and deliver it to you a few days after it actually happens. From one side of the world and another, this is Breaking News, a recap.
Good evening and welcome to Breaking News, a recap. I'm your host in one part of the world, Wesley Newfarmer. And joining me, as always, from our other part of the world is Jessica Pratt.
Yes,
Jessica, sorry, you go.
What was that?
As you can see, we're still ironing out the kinks of our dual world headquarters studios.
Yes, as you can see, we're still ironing out the kinks of our dual world headquarters studios.
I just said that.
But now you're not next to me, so I can just pretend you're a voice in my head.
Oh, okay. The calm, rational, and experienced type of voice that a junior often needs from a senior.
I was thinking more the annoying, repetitive type, like that song everyone hates from the 90s.
Hey, that's catchy. That's catchy. I like it.
On with the news. Mission accomplished. Those were the words George W. Bush proclaimed 8 years before the Iraq War actually ended, and the same words President Trump tweeted this weekend after an airstrike on Syria. Meanwhile, millions of voters are holding off from making hashtag Mission Accomplished a trending topic on Twitter until 2020, when insert any name here as long as it isn't Trump wins the next election.
In Australia, the female Donald Trump, Pauline Hanson, had nothing but complaints about the Indigenous component of the Commonwealth Games opening ceremony. The One Nation senator described the 20-minute performance as disgusting, out of touch, and too long. Others felt that 20 minutes didn't seem like an unreasonably long amount of time to dedicate to the people who roamed the country for 60,000 years before European colonization.
If they'd like, Hanson supporters can visit our Breaking News of Recap online store and pick up one of our many I'm a Massive Racist badges for the insane low price of your sad, depleted soul.
That's right, Jessica.
The UAE has announced that men and women will now be paid the same as a law for gender pay equality is drafted. Call me old-fashioned, but knowing that I have been paid less than a man my whole career is what has made me the woman I am today. Tough, always eager to prove myself, and so bitter that I make lemons taste like M&Ms.
Luckily, Jessica and I signed a 10-year contract back in 1956, which, due to our 60-year absence, is still legal. Great news for us.
It sure is, Wesley.
Last week, Mark Zuckerberg testified in front of Congress, where he apologized yet again and made empty promises yet again about user information and privacy on Facebook. For more on this, we turn to our weekly segment, We Think You've Missed the Point. Sure, Facebook stole all our information, but if the movie Gattaca is anything to go by, we're not that far away from our DNA being traced and everyone knowing about all the different STIs we have. But the real issue is that not one politician in these hearings asked Zuckerberg why people are freely giving him their information, photos, and exercise regimens to begin with. Because if they did, we might find out that Facebook, like big tobacco, is based wholly and solely on one thing: addiction. Now there's a reason I receive ads in my feed about personalized cat stationery. It's because Facebook's algorithms have seen how many cat memes I've liked and assumes I own a cat. Yet what Facebook doesn't know is that I can barely look after myself, let alone look after a cat. But I do get a warm and fuzzy feeling every time I see one of those little guys, and I just can't help but come back for more. At least in the good old days of smoking inside restaurants and office buildings, people would at least talk to each other. Now, thanks to Facebook, nobody talks. You think people are listening, but really, they have their eyes and attention on their phones. We're living in a society where we value virtual likes above the friendship and love of real people in our lives. I'm sure you completely agree with me, right, Jessica? Jessica?
Oh, well, that's Trump for you. Thanks for that report, Wesley. As part of our New Look show, I have been entrusted with the task of finding a suitable weather person to join the team. Over the next few weeks, we will be trialing different candidates in the hopes of finding that certain someone with the breaking news recap charm. Today, we welcome Rick Rainsworth, the All-American quarterback with a communications degree from the University of Phoenix. Online. Rick, what's the weather this week?
Well, thanks, Jess. I can call you Jess, can't I? We'll start off today in Europe, where bands of rain will... Europe, right. Okay, got it. Bands of rain will soak Ireland, but with a bit of luck, the UK will only have to deal with a few clouds. Clouds, because rain comes from clouds. That's right. And moving to the Middle East, it's hot. Back in the good old US of A, the Midwest had snow. I thought the W was silent. Right, snow. Wow, would you believe snow in the middle of April? Well, I guess that shuts the door on that whole global warming crap. Suck on that, tree huggers. Back to you, Jess and Wes.
Well, that was interesting. Any comments, Jessica?
Could someone get me another lemon, please?
Well, that's all the time we have and all the news there is. If you liked our show, please share amongst your friends. If you didn't, maybe this will help.
Tune in next time for more breaking news a few days after it actually happens.
What
Well, I must
was
say
that?
was interesting.
No, thanks. I think you're very handsome too.
No, I said interesting, not it sounds nothing like handsome at all.